really excited. Obviously, our players are still going through finals, and they'll be taking some finals as we get out to Albuquerque and get ready for this game on Saturday. But the timing is right for us. Had some few scuffles in practice. Just the guys they're just so used to competing and playing at teams that I think they're got all this energy, and so either that or finals are really difficult, and the guys are just releasing some of their frustration and anger. But a lot of really good practices. I just explained to the team that they're just really excited to play a game, and not having one for a few weeks has been an adjustment for them. But we see this all the time in bowl prep. I like what the team has done. I like the improvement that I've seen, especially from the young guys on our fundamentals. And we're really excited about the game, but looking forward to getting out there. And last week it seems like when you get to the game week, that's where the focus and the urgency becomes more important. But I think the guys having finals and getting all their finals done as fast, as soon as they can, has been reminding them that the bowl game's coming right away. And we've had some extra time to prep for SMU, and we really like the matchup. It's going to be difficult, but we're expecting to play at our best this Saturday. So, any questions you guys have?
Jared, go ahead.
Kalani, you touched on this, but I'm curious about the timing of the bowl game. Depending on when you don't always necessarily know exactly what date it's going to take place. So how do you have to adapt, whether the game's early in the bowl season like it is this year, or midway through the bowl season, or later in the bowl season? How does that affect preparation?
You just shift things around once you know what game you go into, and whether it's recruiting or finals or whatever the situation may be, you just adjust. And we've been, we're not the only team that has to do that. Everybody has to adjust to it. So we're just excited that we get to play the game and with the matchup that we're in, and so our guys are looking forward to it. But I don't think the transition's really that difficult when you have you've been around bowls for a while and you've seen the different dates that the games are played on. Everybody has calendars that kind of match whatever bowl game they play, whether it's on the 17th or on Christmas Eve or New Year's Day.
Mitch and then Kevin.
Kalani, what's the likelihood Jaren Hall plays on Saturday?
Okay, well, Jaren has not been eliminated from contention to play, so there's that, and he hasn't been participating as much as we'd like him to be in practices, but this week will tell. So we have, today will be important for us to see how much he's progressed and where he's at, but yeah, still in the mix. So I'll let you know if anything changes.
Hey, Kalani, I know Rashee Rice is not playing for SMU. I'm curious how that changes the dynamic of the offense that you're going up against, and also how that changes preparation for you guys this week.
We know he's a great player, and a lot of he had 96 catches, so a lot of the stuff that he's done is on film when we're scouting our opponent. But it's a really good player, but they have tons of athletes all over, so they'll be fine. We just have to play assignment sound football and focus on the fundamentals, tackle well, and just find ways to make it difficult for them to move the ball and to score. And that's a lot of different things we could do. I think we're excited about some of the stuff that we've been able to install in our scheme, and the players are excited. So we'll see what it looks like when we get to the game.
Jay and then Jared.
Kalani, with Keenan Peely going to the transfer portal and Tate Romney as well, and then you've got Max Tooley injured and Peyton Wilgar injured. Where does that leave you at linebacker? It looks like you're really thin there.
Yeah, there's guys there. We have some really good players there. I mean, Pepe Tanavaso will play at Mike, and we'll have Ben Bywater, who's been solid for us. He's led the team in tackles. Even with some limited reps because of rotation, the production that he brings is amazing, and then we're still expecting our other guys to lead. We're expecting Max to be a leader for us. He's rehabbing and getting better from the surgery, but a lot of the guys, they still have their role. But the young guys will be given an opportunity to play, and We have a veteran in Jackson Kafusi that's played a lot of reps that's going to be in the mix. We've had a little bit of movement with moving Fisher Jackson in that area too at linebacker. Josh Wilson, Michael Wilson, Logan Peely. There's quite a bit of guys, Bodie Schoonover. There's a lot of guys that can play in that position, and some of them will be a little bit inexperienced, but it's going to be a lot of fun. What better moment than to do it in the bowl game?
Has Peyton Wilgard been ruled out? You mentioned he might be back.
Yeah, he won't be playing in this game.
Okay.
But Morgan Piper is another one that's had a lot of experience. I'm just trying to think about the guys that have been. So I mean, we have enough bodies and guys that actually have tons of experience playing.
Kalani, you've talked for a long time about how you want guys to have the goal of playing in the NFL. You want them building toward that possibility. A lot of times you see guys around this time of year stepping away, skipping bowl games because of that emphasis on their careers. You don't see that very often at BYU. I'm just wondering about your mentality with that, because it is an opportunity to play a game, but I understand the health risk too, and just wondered your perspective on that.
Well, I think a lot of guys are competitors, and I can't speak for everybody else that as everybody says, opts out. But you guys have to understand this is a violent physical sport, and so when guys get to the end of the year, they've been playing through a lot of injuries throughout the whole season. And I mean, you look at receiver that we're playing against, SMU. He's been battling a toe injury this entire time, and when they get to the point where the season's done, it gives them some time to now rehab and probably be a little bit more honest about where they are with the physical part of their body, just if they're able to go. And I think a lot of times we expect these young men to just keep battling and to fight through injuries, and he probably saw something that was a little bit more serious. And I know his coach. I know that looking at that as a coaching staff, you don't want your players to sacrifice everything, even though some are willing to do it. They usually do it during the season, and at the end, they get an honest evaluation of where their actually health is. And most times, in most cases, they've been playing injured and battling through some things that have been really putting them at high risk. And so if they're not 100% ready to go, especially towards the bowl game, when some of these guys have bowl invites to bowl games afterwards and combine, you look at the timing of it all, and I think when people say opt out, I wish they would just look at it from the perspective of the young man and their health first. These are competitors. You got to give them credit for battling through the entire season, and I just don't like the words opt out. I think when they're making better decisions for themselves, that's a better way to put it. Our guys, we have guys that are still banged up. They're still. I mean, obviously our starting quarterback is in that situation. So if there's a chance that he can play, he wants to. If you guys know anything about him and his competitiveness, he wants to get on the field and play. But it's our responsibility to keep him safe, knowing that he has potential to play at the next level, and to make sure that he does it the right way. And then when you're given time in more than just a week, you give it a little bit more time, you get more of an honest assessment of all that.
Mitch and then Jay.
Kalani, if Jaron, can't go or isn't his typical self, do you and Roderick have the trust in these backup quarterbacks to really run the offense as it's been constructed this year?
Of course, yeah, that's what they're here to do. So I have a lot of confidence in Soljay Mayava and Nick Billups and Cade Finnegan. Those guys, they got to roll. I mean, that's our mindset, and they've practiced really well so far. So going into this game this week, obviously we want to get Jaron ready to roll. But if he's unable to go, I trust those guys.
Kalani, I wanted to ask you about Isaac Rex, who I guess we're going to get to talk to here in a minute. Just what is his kind of perseverance through what you were just talking about this year, not being 100%, coming back, and what he's added to the team?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that he's struggling through injury and he's not 100%. You can see it, but it doesn't change the way he plays, the intensity and how physical he is. at the line of scrimmage and what we require him to do in route running and catching the ball. He does it all, and that's motivating to our guys. He is slowly getting there to being 100%. I think he's more at that point now than he's been all year, and he's a guy that hasn't been able to really recover because every week he keeps battling, and just his level of toughness, and it's not just the physical toughness, but his mental toughness. That injury that he came back from is not easy, and so he's defying a lot of the medical. You know, when they're looking at him, they thought he wouldn't be able to play at all this year, and not only has he played, he's been very effective and has played not a huge drop off from what he's done in the past. And so I think this game this week, I'm hoping, and you see it in practice, he'll be probably at his best that he's been all year, and I can't wait to see it happen.
Sean and then Kevin.
Yeah, Coach, you touched on this a little bit with Rasheed Rice, and obviously, and just some of the weapons around Tanner Mordecai at SMU and whatever. But as a defensive guy, when you look at this SMU offense, is it the kind of group, I mean, averaging 40 points per game and over 350 yards and all that stuff, like, is this the kind of offense that sort of worries you, that kind of keeps you up at night a little bit?
Yeah, it's the type of offense that worries everyone. But I mean, that's any offense that has an identity and can lean on that. And they lean heavily on Mordecai and his abilities to spread the ball out, and he can attack you downfield, but he can also run the ball too. And then they have a bunch of guys that can run. They can do fly sweep. They can get the receivers involved. They have really good, big physical line. So that's why they score a lot of points. And defensively, you have to be ready for it. So I think focusing. I mean, you could say you can try to make them change their identity, but they've been doing this for a long time. I think we have to just do our part. Change things up and make sure that keep them guessing a little bit. Hopefully we can get that done. But as you watch film from the entire year, a lot of people have tried to do that, and they usually get the upper hand. But I think offensively, defensively, special teams, we're going to play some complementary football and make sure that we put ourselves in the best position for the victory.
I had a bigger picture question for you, just with bowl prep right now, and then recruiting, and then obviously the coaching hires last week. I'm interested to know if you think that this college football schedule, like right now in this calendar moment right now, is a little too crowded, or if you like it. I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
I just go with whatever's out there. I mean, we have mid-year signing day that wasn't there years ago, and it's a little still fairly new, and we're going to try to take advantage of that. And so it all depends on what the NCAA allows. You can see what happens when with NIL and transfer portal and all that's happening. We just roll with whatever's out there and then adjust and try to do what we can to make it an advantage for us. And I think a lot of teams do it their own way. We definitely do it our own way, but we have to do it the way that is right in alignment with our church's mission and our university's mission and the values that we have in our program.
Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, Kalani, with regards to recruiting this week, because usually the bowl game, will it be coming down to guys like Kelly Papinga and Jay Hill maybe staying back in Provo and handling recruiting on that end, or how will you handle that stuff?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be doing this week, and I think they'll join us out in New Mexico later for the game. But most of the game planning and coaching and teaching is being done by our graduate assistants and our analysts and myself and Janelle Guilford. So we're excited. I think these guys are excited to implement our game plan and see how our call sheet works against SMU's offense.
And just quickly, are your running backs, Peeney, Chris Brooks, Hinckley, are they all healthy and available this week?
Chris Brooks is good to go. He's practicing, and Hinckley's practicing. Lopini won't be playing in this game. He's not ready. And then, any other backs that you asked about? Miles will be ready to go too.
Thank you.
We'll take last question from Mitch.
Yeah, Kalani, Just want to ask you, strength coaches new to Tafisi and Justin McClure are no longer listed on the football staff. What can you share on them and maybe just the direction of the strength staff moving forward?
Yeah, I appreciate all the hard work that they put in this program and to the young men. They've done a great job, and we need a change and looking in a different direction. What we're trying to do with our players in the weight room, and also with what we know about sports science and with the training room. So we're trying to bridge that together from our training room to our weight room, and what we have the vision of where we can help our players be healthy but get strong at the same time and still keep that level of physicality that we have on the field.
Is someone within being promoted to the head strength and conditioning coach? Has that been designed or
Yeah,
designated,
we have guys that are running the program right now, and they're doing just fine. So right now Spencer Reed is handling as interim with help from Kobe Clausen and Scott Ermaine. But we also have Dalton that's involved and Kalani that's there working with him too.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Isaac, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Great. All right. If you have questions for Isaac, you can go ahead and raise your hand, and we will get started. Jared, go ahead.
Isaac, what's it like getting to this point in the season? You've dealt with this before as you're trying to deal with the end of school and get ready for the off season, as well as getting ready for the last game of the year. What's the balance as you try and strike it at this point, getting ready for the bowl game?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of, feel everything, get everything done on your plate. You got school, you got Christmas coming up, you got the bowl game, but for the guys that are in school, it's obviously trying to get finals done first, getting it done before we travel. So we're just focused on the game, trying to concentrate on, beating SMU. But yeah, it's definitely a busy time and this time of year, so it's hard to kind of navigate through. But I mean, that's how sports is. That's how being a college student and athlete is. There's a lot on your plate at all times. So just getting our finals done and then focusing on the game.
Jay, go ahead.
Hey, Isaac, Kalani just said you're as healthy as you've been all season, but I just wondered, what's this season been like for you in regards to your health, and has there ever been a game where you've said, man, I'm going to sit this one out? It's just like load management needs or anything like that?
There's never been a game that I wanted to really sit out, but there's definitely been practices where I was like, dang, my ankle's killing me. It's weird, having a bunch of plates and screws in your ankle. So when I'm like an old man now, like when the weather starts changing, when it starts getting cold, I could feel it in my ankle. It's definitely weird and challenging, but it's been awesome just to be with the team and play. And I've really wanted to show that, I'm a tough player, that I could play through injury, and I never wanted to sit out. It was always my goal to play this year and to be there for the team and contribute in any way I can. So yeah, it's been challenging. It's been a great experience, and it's really, I really feel like I've shown myself that I can do hard things.
How would you describe kind of the vibe of the team right now as 7 guys have entered the transfer portal? It must be kind of things are in limbo with the coaches. Just what's the attitude of the players?
Yeah, we're going through some changes within the program, but for the players, I feel like this last week has been one of the best week of practices we've ever had, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're flying around, they're making plays, and they're trying to, impress these new coaches that are coming in. Jay Hill has gotten a lot of people motivated. He's been just a great addition to this coaching staff. And so, there's guys coming in, coming out. There's guys that are leaving. There's a lot of uncertainty, you could say, within the coaching staff and guys leaving to the transfer portal. But for the guys that are staying, it's been cool to see everyone just rally around each other and to want to go win this bowl game. And so yeah, I feel like haven't really missed a beat.
Jared and then Mitch.
Isaac, we were just talking to Kalani about some of the changes in the strength and conditioning coaching and in the weight room. That's an area where you guys spend a lot of time, put a lot of effort in. What's it like when changes are made there and as you're going through that process? I guess some of the guys are still there, but I just wondered what that aspect's like.
Yeah, New and Justin, we miss them. They were great guys. I feel like they've made a lot of us stronger. But the new coach or the new strength and conditioning staff, they've been awesome. They've helped us. I feel like they're focusing more instead of heavy duty lifting. It's more of agility, more of flexibility, stuff that will help us translate more to the game, which I appreciate. And I just like how they're listening to us and they're always willing to help. And so Colby and Spence and all the guys, Skylar, they've been awesome throughout this year, and they're continuing the path going forward.
Isaac, with this being your fourth season already at BYU, have you kind of already made your plans as to what you plan to do for 2023?
I haven't officially made my decision. Still trying to get as much info as possible, trying to gain as much information about whether coming back's the best thing or leaving, So I'm trying to figure it out right now, but I'll make that probably after the bowl game.
So just to follow up, the decision would be along the lines of an NFL type of decision then?
Yeah, most likely. Or
All right,
coming
thanks
back.
so much, Isaac.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, next up we'll have Caleb Hayes, and I think he's here, so we can get started in just a second. Caleb, how's it going?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. We'll start with the questions from Jared.
Caleb, we talked about the end of the last home game, the last regular season game. Now we're really at the last game of the season, the bowl game. What's it like this week, getting ready for this game for you?
It's exciting. A little high expectations, for the team and everything like that. To try to get this bowl win. It's a good thing that we have a bowl game like this year. And everybody's excited. The boys is pumped up for it. And yeah, it's a pleasure, and we're blessed to be able to have an extra week. Not a lot of teams have a opportunity to play another week of football. So this is a great time for film, and just to love it up.
Along the same lines, there's been a lot of changes. With the defensive staff, players deciding, particularly defensive guys, a bunch of them deciding to go different directions at this point. You've been through the process. How do you handle it as a player? As you're going through these things.
You talking about as a transfer?
Yeah, just guys choosing to transfer, and then also the coaching staff changes, defensive coaching staff changes. You've got a lot going between the end of the regular season and the bowl game.
Yeah, I have been personally, I've been through this at Oregon State. Different coaching changes. Coach G is my fourth DB coach. So throughout my college career, so I'm already know how some boys feel about certain things, and a lot of change. And it's something that is kind of distracting, but however, you just got to remember why you're here, who you're playing for, and this is still our team, throughout this time. So for the dudes that's leaving and everything like that, I'm gonna support. We all support them, better opportunity if they feel, and that's what it is. But things, hey, football is always a game of change, man. It's always changes, every year. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know when things gonna happen. You feel me? It just happens. So as far as we understand that, it's just expectations. It is what it is. You just gotta just be within the moment, you know. But it's exciting, you know. Like we have a new defensive schemes and everything like that. Like it's they bring Coach Kalani bringing in dudes that is going to change this program for these upcoming BYU players. So it's gonna be exciting, man. And I expect a lot from this program and a lot of change and a lot of great things happening.
Mitch and then Jay.
Caleb, what are your impressions of this SMU passing attack? And I know they're down their top receiver, but still put up a lot of numbers this year. How do they maybe stack up among some of the other passing attacks you faced?
A lot of explosive plays and a lot of athletes, which is great. Great competition. I love it. And we all, like I said, this is a bowl game, like we're really excited for. A great opportunity and a great opponent to play on Saturday. Yeah, man, we expect a lot. We know about the quarterback and everything like that. Certain wide receivers. I'm sad that number 11 isn't. I think he's not playing. You said, but. But they do got some dudes out there, regardless of the fact, so they say they're a very explosive offense that's capable of scoring. So it is what it is at that point.
Caleb, a lot of the defensive coaches have been let go, but Gennaro is still in the program. What is it about him you think that caused BYU to basically keep him, the new DC, to come on and say he wanted Gennaro to stay on staff?
Well, personally, I would say, he's real, man. Real dude. Keep it a buck with you. He's gonna bring out the potential within these dudes, and everybody trusts Coach G within this process. A lot of these dudes that come here, like myself, is I came here for G. It's kind of it's he kind of want to play for a coach that cares about you as much as we care about him. So, and he's been familiar with the program. He played here. He's comfortable with what's around this environment. But it's. I already had a feeling he's gonna stay. He's a great asset and an important piece at this BYU coaching staff and what they're gonna do in the next upcoming years.
Kevin, go ahead.
Kalani kind of mentioned that with the coaching staff changes, a lot of the GAs are helping out this week in terms of game planning and game preparation. From your perspective, who's kind of stood out to you and who's helped you guys the most on the defensive side, the GAs, in preparing for SMU?
For GAs, I would say Gavin. Oh, well, Gavin's not even a GA anymore. Dang. Man. Say again? Well, it's yeah, but he's not like a GA. Yeah, so but but besides the fact, no, I'm gonna just bring it back to my corners GA, DJ. He's he's been very helpful throughout this whole process, regardless of the fact he believed in us, and he gave us insights and perspectives that we haven't even seen, from playing and everything like that. And even though he's going off to northern Colorado or whatever, it's he still helps us in order to become great and be able to produce on that field. So I would say for the most part, I would say DJ, but for the GAs, but hey, all the coaches right now is helping us, even the new coach, Jay Hill, and everything like that. He's you can already feel the energy that he's bringing to this defense. And it's exciting, and I just wish I had another year to play with him, but hey, man.
We'll take last question from Sean.
Let me pivot a little bit there and kind of wrap this all up for you, Caleb, because it's a little weird for me, I'll be totally honest, and I'm sure it's triply weird for you that you're looking at your final game in college football. Just what's kind of some of your gut reactions as you think this is it, time to empty the tank, go all out, one more game left, and then move on to the future?
Yeah, man, It is like you said, it is weird, thinking about my timeline, just like in college and everything like that. It's sad, just I would say just looking at all my teammates, all my friends that I made here at BYU, and just like seeing them every day, and like man, like someday like I have to like move on and everything like that. It gets me some tears in my eyes, but nah, man, like I said, this last game is gonna mean a lot. It's gonna mean a lot to me. It's gonna mean a lot to like this program. I just want to win. Like ever since I stepped on this campus and everything, I just want to win. I just want to compete, and I can't. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But just know I love this program. I love this team. I love my guys, man. I do, and like I'm just excited for this upcoming game, this final one. But and then after that, I'm still gonna be off to become great. So, yeah.
Thanks so much, Caleb.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
All right, last up, we will have Tyler Batty, and I'm pretty sure he's here as well, so we'll get started. Tyler, how's it going?
Good. How about you guys?
Great. We will start with a question from Mitch.
Tyler, Caleb just said something about Jay Hill, the energy he's brought to the defense. You've stated that you're coming back next year. Maybe can you speak to your vantage point of the energy Jay Hill has brought to BYU and what you're expecting maybe from this defense going forward in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Jay's an awesome dude. Yeah, and he does bring a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. And so I'm really excited to see kind of how our defense shifts, just scheme, philosophy, all the above, and just how those changes, are going to affect us as a team. I think they're going to be really good for us. I think it's going to be a big shift, but I think that it's going to help us in a lot of ways.
Jared, go ahead.
Talk about getting ready for SMU. They've had a lot of success offensively. I know they're missing, their best receiver, but what do you expect to see from their offense this weekend?
Honestly, their offense, just their identity, right? They're an explosive offense. They can really move the ball and put points on the board, and so we're not expecting anything different. They, like I said, they have a very established identity, and I think they're going to stick to it. We think they're going to stick to it and come out and try to run it, try to throw it, and move it down the field. And so, it's just going to be our job to stop them. So I'm excited. I'm excited to play SMU. I think it's going to be a really fun game. So, just going to be one more. So I'm excited.
Jay, go ahead.
Hey, Tyler, you guys with Keenan Peely going to the transfer portal, how will that affect the defense against SMU? You guys are already thin at linebacker.
Yeah, Keenan's a great player, great friend. Excited for him and the opportunities he's going to have elsewhere. As for us rolling forward with the linebackers that we have, I'm confident in our guys. I still think we have a lot of depth, even though we, some guys maybe haven't played as much. I think we still have, the guys to go out there and play. And I know that they're going to, Pepe and Ben and Jax, all those guys are going to go out there and do their job. And, full confidence in those guys.
And if I could squeeze in a question about Isaac Rex, you and him are kind of two of the bigger personalities on the team. What's your favorite maybe Isaac Rex moment or story that illustrates that?
Shoot, that is a tough one. So I love Isaac. Me and Isaac signed together. We were both class of 17. Man, there's a favorite Isaac Rex moment. I would honestly probably his touchdown celebrations. I love seeing Isaac in the end zone. So anytime Isaac's in the end zone with the ball in his hands is probably one of my favorite moments for him. That's a tough question.
Sean, go ahead.
3 years on Zoom, I still can't remember to unmute my mic sometimes, Tyler. I don't know why. Something wrong here. I'm just wondering though, because with all the changes, you touched on, this is sort of a time of transition, and the only thing constant in college football is change, right? There's always change coming up. With your group, specifically kind of the edge rushers and the D line, who's working with you guys a lot and kind of getting you guys prepared for the bowl game? Because, obviously Tuiaga moving out and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we've excuse me, we've been working a lot with Jan Jorgensen. He's been working with the edge players, our defensive ends, Jan's a great coach. He's a great guy. Knows D line in and out, and of course played here, and so he's been a great guy to have around and a great resource. And in this time of transition, he's just continued to be awesome and really help us out. So it's been really awesome being able to train with him.
Kevin, go ahead.
Kind of along those lines, I'm interested to know if any GAs have taken on a much bigger role this week with defense overall, and if anybody in that department's really stood out to you.
Again, it's kind of all hands on deck where we're at right now. Everyone's just helping out where they can to make sure that the team is ready for this game, and so I don't know if there's anyone that necessarily stands out. Right now, I think everyone's just trying to do whatever they can to, help us prepare for SMU. So
We'll take last question from Mitch.
Tyler, what does with bowl season, the gifts are always kind of a fun little storyline. What can you share about the gifts week? What type of gifts are you guys getting?
We got a pretty good lineup, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of common. So headphones, coolers, sunglasses, air fryer, cookware, kitchen sets. There's a bunch of different stuff on there, but it's always fun just kind of looking through and just seeing what there is. So it's always it's just cool. I think it's just a fun part of going to a bowl game. Getting some bowl gifts, and I think bowl specific. I know last year we got a watch. This year, I'm trying to remember what the bowl specific gift is. Can't remember, but the gifts are always fun.
I assume you got the air fryer.
I already have one, so I'm still looking, still weighing my options.
Thanks so much, Tyler.
Yep, thank you guys.